Please subscribe to help you and your motorcycle perform better.
First day at the track, for me, on Thunderhill West. That means I literally have not been on this track in probably 6 months. So there's a philosophy here of how do you approach your first track day. Many people will have many different ideas, and those ideas are all fine based on the individual, but my code of conduct, shall we say, is everybody's in the same boat. We've not been here. We're going to go out, we're going to see the track. Has the track changed? Has any permanent fixtures that were there before, are they gone? If they're gone, what are you going to use for your reference points in between times? And if there has to be new ones, where's your track map? So when you come off the track, you can actually write it all down and record it. The other piece is eyes and speed. When you are away from the track for a certain amount of time, you are not used to X miles an hour in a track environment. I'm not saying you do it on the street. Maybe you do. Maybe you're not smart and do way faster than that. But when you come back to the track, there's no dots, there's no white lines, there's no junctions, signs, there's nothing. So your visual experience is extremely different. If it's extremely different, then the obvious piece of the puzzle there is your brain and your conscious mind up here is going to be going and paying attention, which takes all your time away from peripheral vision. So for me, the first ride of the day on a new track is all about, one, where am I? Two, getting my brain and eyes to accept that the entry speed I'm using is appropriate. And based on that, it being appropriate means that chest here and shoulders don't get tight. Because if you tighten up and tense up, you're going too fast, too soon. So way back in the day, when I would warm up for the start of the race season, I would do one or two things. I would go around at a pace that would make me smile and giggle, because then I was multitasking. Or I'd go around and sing a song that I knew all the words to in my helmet as I'm going around the track. And when the words went away, I did something wrong. Think about that. All of a sudden, your attention is bam, it's gone, and you're right in the present moment. So what did I do? So I would go back and listen to those audio files and have the video on front, as I do with being mic'd up around the track. And I go look at it and go, okay, here's the spot. What did I do? I was on the wrong line. And if I was on the wrong line, what did my brain do? My brain went, oi, pay attention. Snaps you back into the moment so you're not multitasking. There's lots of different ways to adjust and acclimatize your brain and eyes. But the biggest one realistically is speed. Keeping your eyes up, keeping your eyes looking ahead of where you are. And for me personally, knowing where I am in time and space means I don't have to look at my entry point. I don't have to look at my brake on point, my brake off point. I don't need to look at my turning marker, and I will look at apex to make sure I'm on line and my physical input to the bike is accurate. So all of that being said, when you get on track, there's other people on track. So you've got to be respectful of them. You've got to pay attention to them. You don't want to crowd them. You don't want to stuff them. You also want them to feel comfortable. And passing, when you're getting on track for the first time, is an exercise that you haven't done in a very long time either. So you have to be courteous and thoughtful, select the right gear, select the right moment, inside pass or outside pass. So there's a lot going on. What are we going to do to show you that? Well, I'm going to get suited up and I'm going to go out on the track in the B- session because I need to see the track, not because I want to go slow. I need to see what's different, what's new, where's it at, where's the surface at, has anything structurally changed? Is there anything in the distance that's not there before? And at that point, all I'm trying to do is assess my reference points on the track and getting used to entry speed, brake on and brake off point, lines for consistency, and then building up a rhythm where I'm very, very comfortable on the bike. And in doing that, the next session, where are you either emotionally or intellectually? You're in a good place, you can't wait to go out in the next session, and you're not tight and tense here in your pecs. You're just riding and having fun, and the pace comes naturally that way. The other piece of the puzzle to wrap this talking head part up is it's cold. So what's happening to the shock? It's bathed in heat from the engine. And as it's bathed in heat from the engine, it's going to warm up quick. What's happening to the forks? Well, they're out in cold air at anything from 60 to 110 miles an hour. So can that fork oil get as hot as a truck oil? How long is it going to take for that fork oil to warm up? So why can't you take your time to warm that fork oil up, and each session go a little quicker, let the temperature of the day come to you, and based on the temperature of the day, then that oil's going to warm up. And then the same applies to tires. They need the time to warm up. The rear's going to get hotter than the front because you have to drive the bike to your pit space. But the front's rolling in cold air, it'll be warm on track, but when you come in, it'll feel cold. So make sure every session before you go out, you have perspective. And based on that perspective, make sure that you have your plan for this session set out. Okay? So I'm going to go out and I'm just going to say hi to the track, because the track is a living, breathing thing. And when you come back, it's going to be slightly different in some way. It's never going to be the same, because the surface of the track evolves, especially in summer with cars on it, and cars that are fast with a lot of downforce and really good brakes. Those that study tracks really understand this. And then of course there's maintenance on the tracks, there's patches, there's sealer, there's all kinds of other things that happen. So sit down and think about your first track day. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? What are you going to do per session based on the number of sessions you have per day? I'm excited to go ride. So you ready to join me? Let's get suited up and get on track. All right, away we go. First ride of the year at Thunderhill West with Carter's at the track, heading out. Scott led me onto the track. So, haven't been on the track. Everybody else has been on it all day, which is great. Now we've got to see how the track looks. We're going out in B-, so basically we're going to sight the track. I'm doing it on my Ninja 400. It is a 2019 with 555 miles on it. I know, shocking, right? I'm fired. What kind of rider am I? Okay, we are clear and good to go. Coming down to turn 3, usually turn in the middle of the concrete strip. Head over and around, line it up for 5. Straight line, and then pick it up. We're going to stay nice and tight to let everybody through who's been on the track all day. Bring it through 5, line it up through the S's with a straight line. Keep close in 6, again giving everybody the track. Lining up for 7, going for the short foam pole in the distance. Wait for the cone, turn in, stay tight all the way around 7. Now clip the curb. Aim for the other cone and the tar snake. Tip in early. Set up for 9, mid-track. Hold tight inside the tar snake. Stay out for 10. Tar snake's right there. We're going to come around. There it is. Now we'll go ahead and line up for 1. So 3rd gear. 4th, 5th, down to 4th, catch the first 2 curbs, stay out, wait for the last one, there it is. We're going to go around the outside, going to stay mid-track until halfway through, there it is. Now we're going to bring it to the cone, line it up, stay level with the tar snake. Wait for the middle of the curb, turn, catch the edge of the triangle because it's very rough. Catch the tar snake to our left. Again, stay tight, we're in B-, we're not trying to drag our knee, we're trying to get speed and entry right. So a little wider on entry. Remember, clip that front curb, line it up with the second one. Into 4th. We're still going to hug it and keep it tight. Okay, so now we've got to assess traffic, which is not unusual on a first track bit. Into third, slow corner. This is about 25 miles an hour on average. So clip the curb, go out to the tar snake, where the cone is, tip in. Now don't cut somebody off on the inside, so we'll go around the outside nice and carefully. We'll line up for 10 appropriately. Again, respect for the other riders on the track. And we're still looking at the track to see where we're at. So now we've got to back it up a little bit and wait. So 2 curbs, wait for the last. Here it is, there's the cone. Again, we're going to go around the outside. If there's room, which there is, riders doing a good job of their speed. I'm going to bring it down the inside. Taking my usual line, irrespective of what the person in front of me is doing. Bring it around. So probably have an opportunity in turn 6 or out braking into 7. So we'll go for the opportunity in 6. We'll bring it around. We'll see where everybody lines up for 7. So there's a little more traffic. Go around the outside, aim for the cone. Always try and run your normal lines wherever possible. Again, giving the other person some room. Yeah, they were coming all the way out, you could feel that coming. So very smart to just give them the space. Give them a bit of room in front. So into 5th gear, down into 4th. Go around. Now we'll have to switch sides if this rider lets us get around them, which not a problem at all. Set up, get back on our regular line, bring it around, line it up again, now we'll line up for the outside in 6. Bring it back on the line. Aim for the short pole. Back into 3rd gear. Bring it back. Hold the same markers, same turning points. Get our focus on getting timing right. Lap. Stay where we... Well, unfortunately the camera cut off for the last lap, but it's not a big deal. I think the video gives you the point. Tomorrow, we're actually going the opposite direction. So what did I achieve today in that first few laps? 1, understanding and letting my eyes adapt to speed, finding my brake on off points, rediscovering the correct lines. getting comfortable with entry speed and mid-corner speed in the corners, seeing bikes in the distance, and when closing them up, giving them the respect they deserve in that group, and also making passes wherever possible on the outside because they're looking the opposite way, so the pass is very comfortable for them. On a personal level, what did I discover? I can turn left no problem, but on the right side, I'm definitely not turning as I should, which means that I'm either not got my hand in the right place on the throttle with the screwdriver method. If you're not sure what that is, I have a video on that specifically. And then the other piece of the puzzle is I am thinking too much on rights, whereas I'm being intuitive on left. Guess what tomorrow is? It's all right hand turns. So I'm going to be able to really work on my skill set in that regard to be much more comfortable with turning right, brake on, brake off, minimizing the coasting between those two activities, controlling radius in line with brake and or throttle, either direction. So a lot to look forward to tomorrow. This direction going clockwise I actually personally prefer, and we all have tracks that we ride when it's a certain direction. It's just great, it feels good, and you're excited to get out there. So tomorrow, a lot less people here. The second day is always slower for me, so I'm hoping to get quite a bit more time on the track and create more videos so that day 2 I'll post on Sunday so you can follow the progression. Outside of that, as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.